live? We live? Yep, we are live. What's up, y'all? It's been a minute. It's your boy, Mikey B. Low Key, and I'm back on the channel after a long hiatus. It's been a while. It's been about I don't know, the last time I made a video, I think it was on around my birthday when I turned 30. But as you can see in the background, we in a new location, new spot. I hope those lights ain't too bright for y'all. But I felt compelled to get back on the channel. You know, it's a lot going on. It's a lot has been going on. It's about it's midnight. It's December 28th, 2023. We got about a couple days left in the year. About to hit 2024. So, you know, I'm so happy for this year to be over almost, because this year been kind of like a roller coaster for sure. If you know me very well, you know what I've been through. But if you know, obviously if you tuning in this video, you obviously don't know me. But yeah, this year been a roller coaster ride for sure. And it really didn't get bad and crazy until, you know, it was going good and all dandy until probably like the second half of the year. I would say probably like July to about from about June to like August, things has been rough. You know, I put myself through the ringer to get back on top where I'm at, to get back on a little steady pace. But I had an idea for a video, and the main idea around this video is just to use you know, use your darkness, use your pain, your suffering as like a way to bring you back to a new person, to a new self. You know, I went through hell this year. You know, first I'll probably do a video just kind of explaining like exactly what I went through. But I'm gonna give y'all a little synopsis. Like, started a business like the beginning of the year, as you saw probably in prior videos. And then, you know, it just went to shit. Not the business, but just my life started going to shit. I was working part-time. Well, first and foremost, I quit my full-time job. You know, I just quit it. Didn't go back, didn't feel like I was growing. I was a supervisor at the airport, doing security. And I had like 20 officers under me, so that was cool. But I just didn't feel like I was growing. So I was like, I want to do something different. So my homeboy, you know, he was in the transport business, so he kind of showed me the ropes. And I, you know, started my LLC and started my own business, BAM Transport. And that was going great. You know, I was getting clients right away. Montana, going out to New Mexico, Montana, California, San Francisco, Vegas, you name it. I was getting hella clients. And you know, I was working part-time too at a dispensary, you know, and you know, things started getting away. Just my business took precedent over the part-time job. As anybody, you know, I was making good money, so making more money than I would at the part-time job. Like, I'm talking about like a couple grand in like a day, you know. So, you know, obviously I put the part-time job on the back burner, but that was funding my business. But just fast forward, I'll give y'all a little rundown. June 9th is when everything kind of went to shit for me. Everything started going, you know, downhill. I'm on a load in Vegas. I got a client. I'm doing her load for like, you know, $2,500, and it's a house move. So I'm moving her from Vegas to Oakland. She got a new job out there. So I got to Vegas. You know, I'm doing her whole load. I'm moving everything into her truck, and I get a phone call. So I'm in the truck. I sit down, and it's my manager from the dispensary, and he's basically, long story short, he just like, look, yeah, we gonna go ahead and part ways. And I felt it coming, but, you know, part of me was just kind of in denial, you know, because I was like putting him on the back burner, you know, and I felt a little bit of animosity anyway, because, you know, here these dudes, at these managers, and I'm making way more money than them, and, you know, I'm barely doing, you know, half the work they doing. You know, they working 40, 80 hours a week, and I'm making what they make salary, you know, in a couple days. Not to sound like cocky or not to sound like arrogant about that, but I mean, that was the truth behind it. You know, the business I got into was very lucrative. But yeah, fast forward, like, you know, I sat down and they fired me right then and there. And yeah, like I remember I finished that load out and I'm driving back from Oakland, and I'm just thinking like, what do I do now? Like I ain't really got no money saved up. All my money that I'm making is either going to, funding my lifestyle, or also like just going back into the business. But I ain't had no emergency fund. I ain't had no bread saved up, like really like that. I had just started. So also on top of that, like I was moving out of my current apartment that I've been in for like 3 years in Tempe, Arizona. So I was moving out, and yeah, I ended up moving to Mesa, Arizona. But I tell y'all, I will stress this: wherever you move, like please do your research, because if you just move blindly and you don't do your research, like you gonna pay for it in the end. But so I move into this apartment. I get approved while I'm on my way to Denver. Cool. I get the keys. Cool. Straight. Moved in. I ain't really think nothing of it. Everything was cool because I was on the road, so I wasn't really living there like that. I was always on the road. I'm thinking everything is cool. I got everything situated. I'm back to normal. So I lost my job, but I'm still, doing loads, making money. But I tell you, this is when stuff started going, like everything just started going downhill. So to be completely like transparent, like that place, the apartment I was in was infested with roaches. Like I'm talking about bad. It got to the point where I wasn't even cooking in my crib, sleeping in my car type shit. And I didn't really notice it at first until I'm playing video games at the crib, chilling, and I didn't really get like too immersed in this new crib. I hadn't even really bought furniture like that. I had previous furniture from the last crib, but I didn't really like get settled in like that. Like I was sleeping on the air mattress, just cause I was always gone. But I'm talking about like I'm laying down in the bed and I'm seeing roaches run across the floor, and I ain't think nothing of it at first. I'm just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But then it started getting bad. I'm talking about I'm going to take a shower. They in my shower when I come home from the crib. They on my shower curtain. They in my toilet. They on my sink in my kitchen. Like it started getting really bad, like really bad. And so I dealt with it for a little bit because I ain't think nothing of it. I had the exterminator come through. I'm thinking, oh shit, like damn, this is just what it is. It's summertime. It's just how it is. But I had never lived amongst no roaches. Like I come from a house where I ain't never had no roaches. I ain't never been through that. So ultimately it just got to the point where like every day I had an encounter with roaches. I would spray Raid, like I was just trying to deal with it until I like had a new load or had a new client. But then the money started slowing up, the load started slowing up, and I'm talking about I ain't have no fun. Like I ain't have no funds, like none. So I would just sit in my crib all day and just like try to like figure out ways to make bread. And yeah, like it started getting bad. So I ended up going to the leasing office, and I'm like, look, I'm breaking this lease. I gotta go. I gotta dip out of here. But I ain't had no money to like dip. I'm trying to figure things out. My bills piling up. I'm not paying my car note. Like it's bad. Like I'm trying to get loads. Like it's just bad, man. Like just the stress I was dealing with, the stress I was feeling as a man. Like I ain't ever felt nothing like that in my life. So ultimately I had picked up a gig at FedEx, just to kind of, help me out. We was getting paid every week, so that was cool. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And yeah, so I broke the lease. I wrote a letter to the leasing manager, and I'm like, look, I can't stay here no more. Like this is messing with my like daily, like I can't even cook in my own crib, and I'm giving y'all rent money. Like I had lived there for like 3 months, and I just said, nah, bro. Like first month I ain't really notice it, but like it started getting to the point where every day I was encountering roaches, like multiple roaches. I slept with my lights on. That's how bad it got. Sometimes I would sleep in my car, like, cause I just wasn't comfortable with, I just couldn't get comfortable in my crib. Like I never invited nobody over. Like I was embarrassed. Couldn't leave food out. It was just bad. So I wrote a letter to the leasing office and I'm like, look, I'm breaking this lease. They like, okay, whatever, like, all right, well, we're gonna have to make you pay for that. And I'm like, look, bro, y'all can do whatever y'all want. I'm not staying with no roaches. I'm not living with no roaches. I don't do this. So I ain't had no place to go. Like, at that point, I ain't had no place to go. And shout out to my moms, because without her, like, she fronted me some bread to, you know, get on my feet, but I still wasn't out the woods yet. So I ended up picking up another gig at a security job, doing security overnight for a company called Jeter. Overnight security, you know, 12 hours, you know, just to, you know, I started, you know, getting some funds in my, like, but it was to the point where it was so early. I'm going to job interviews, like, it was so early that I still wasn't, you know, I'm using all that money to kind of get out the hole. But yeah, like, during that time, like, okay, now I moved out, so I basically told them I'm moving out. So the day I move out, I get a call. I'm at my security job. The day I move out, the day I'm supposed to move out, I'm getting off my security job. I get a call from my brother at 6 a.m. and he crying. He just like hysterical. So I knew right there, man, like something was up. And I ended up finding out my grandma passed away. Like, she had been in the hospital a couple days before, like in and out, in and out, in and out. And yeah, she passed away, man. She passed away while I was at work on July 30th, 2023, and that's just that rocked me, because she damn near raised me. She damn near was my second mom, and I remember going back to the crib, and I'm just like, bro, I can't even move out this apartment because I ain't in the right mindset. So that was a struggle in itself, but I just laid in bed all day. But at some point I got up and I was like, look, I just got to get out of this apartment. I can't stay here. I just can't, I don't feel comfortable here. So I packed up my car, man, didn't have nowhere to go. Gave them a letter. I said, look, do what you want to do. Charge me for breaking the lease, whatever. I don't care, but I can't stay here no more days. So at this point, my car is full. I ain't got nowhere to go. It's in the middle of summer. I'm talking about 100 degrees. Ain't got nowhere to go. And yeah, I remember I went to a QT parking lot. It's called Quick Trip, basically. And I just moved out. I'm talking about all my stuff in my car, and I had nowhere to go. I sat in that parking lot, man, and I'm just trying to figure it out. And I ended up just breaking down, crying, and I remember the feeling. It was terrible. And so just to fast forward that, I was pawning my TV. I pawned my TV to go ahead and stay in an apartment, I mean, not apartment, but a hotel, like a home to suites. And that's basically what I was doing for like a while. Like, I was living hotel to hotel, having my dog with me. Like, I'm talking about no money. I'm eating Lunchables, walking around with a gallon of water, going to the park, like nowhere to go. You know, a job, but no crib to come back to. Like, I'm leaving my job and, you know, mugs going to their crib and their house, and I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm going to a hotel trying to figure out where I'm gonna stay for the night. So I say all that to say this, like, you know, fast forward now, you know, things is looking up, but man, like 2023 was just, it really broke me, but it built me back up, like slowly but surely. I ended up, you know, now I'm on my feet, you know, and I take life so serious. And if you're going through something right now in your life and you just feel like you hopeless, and, you know, I'm talking about down out, like you on your last, like you hit rock bottom, trust me, you gotta use that as fuel. You gotta use it as fuel, man. I told myself I will never be in this position ever again. So now, like, I work my butt off day in and day out. I got like 3 jobs, and, you know, I don't advise like getting 3 jobs or whatever, but I had to at the time, man. I had to get on my feet. I'm talking about full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. You know, I work 3 to 7. I'm talking about I work 3 to 7, and I've been doing this for a minute. I work 3 to 7 in the morning. Then I go to the full-time gig from, I was going there at the time, 7 to 5 or 8 to 5. And then on the weekends, working 12-hour shifts, Saturday, Sunday. No partying, no drinking, none of that. Like, I cut out everything, wasn't kicking it with nobody. Like, I straight up locked in. And I was doing that for a minute, and I just saved up every dollar, you know, got back on my feet, man. And I just want to thank God for my mom, because without her, you know, helping me out in my time of need, like, I really would have been out here on the street. And I damn near was on the street, damn near homeless, like living in my car for a minute. And yeah, man, like now you just, I tell everybody, you know, that think I work my ass off, like, I just want you to know that the reason I do it is just because I've been through hell, and that shit broke me, but it ultimately was a wake-up call. And I think it was supposed to happen, because I was just kind of like, you know, going through the motions in life. And you gotta just use your disappointment and your failures as motivation. And I know that sounds so cliche, but you gotta like push yourself. My grandma passed. I had anger about it, like, cause I was like, bro, why am I going through this? Like, I ain't never hurt nobody. I ain't really did nothing bad. I don't be out here stealing, doing stuff, moving slimy. But I thank God I went through that, man. I thank God I went through that, because it ultimately rebuilt me, and I've been rebuilding myself and reinventing myself. So you gotta use it as like you gotta use your pain and your suffering as a time to rebuild yourself and put yourself back together. So, you know, now, like present day, you know, we finna go into a whole new year. I got a whole new mindset. You know, I eat differently, I move differently. I don't be out here moving through the streets. Like, I really be moving how I'm supposed to. And that's how you gotta be. You gotta ultimately be the same way. You gotta be on your militant behavior. Like, you gotta really lock in. If you went through something and you trying to get back on your feet, you gotta cut out all distractions. You gotta cut out all stuff that's not moving you forward in the direction you're trying to get to. And you gotta tell yourself you ain't never gonna go through what you're going through ever again. Because it's true. If you really tell yourself that and continue to push that idea, you ain't gonna ever go through it again, it's gonna come true. And so I just wanted to get on here and you know, just kind of talk about, you know, perseverance, and ultimately, you know, becoming a monster. You know, getting to a point where you just going hard every single day, pushing yourself to the limit, because you have to. You gotta put that in your mind that, look, you don't ever want to go through, and I don't ever want to go through what I went through again. So that stuff pushes me every single day. And I just want to get on here and you know, it's been a while since I've been gone, so I'm definitely gonna, you know, be more consistent. I plan on dropping videos like this every single night. But you gotta become a monster. You gotta become a monster. You gotta really lock in and cut out everything and just really get on your shit. Like, in so many words, you gotta get on your shit. You can't be tripping. You can't cry. Like, you gotta get the tears out. You know, it's cool to feel sorry for yourself, but ultimately, nobody coming to save you. And that's ultimately, I'm talking to the men too. Like, nobody coming to save you. Like, nobody. These females ain't coming to save you. Nobody coming to save you, because you a man first and foremost. So you gotta get on your grind every single day. No time wasted. You can't let nothing stop you. You gotta be possessed. You gotta be like a man possessed for real. And so I'll catch y'all on the next video. Be looking out for me on the next one. We'll be talking to y'all, especially you young men out here, especially like me, because I definitely got a lot to say and I got a lot to express to y'all. So one love. I'm gonna get some rest and get back to the grind tomorrow. So peace out.